The ACC finally released their schedule, and I don't say finally in a pejorative manner. I actually credit the ACC and the Big 12 for that matter, because, well, really twofold. Number one, because they understand the calendar, and there's no reason that you need to just randomly announce your schedule in the fall or even over Christmas. You can wait. No one got hurt. No one is a victim because they waited and built up and they promoted the event. That's basic marketing 101. That's basic content strategy 101. So the ACC finally released their schedule. That's the first thing. The other thing you need to know about the ACC is new format. Got a new format over there. There are no divisions anymore. And they're playing the 3-5-5 format, which means you have three permanent rivals, three teams you play every year. And then you play 5 of them one year, and then the other 5 the next year, and then 5 of them the next year, and then the other 5 the next year. So you're playing every team in your conference every 2-year stretch. So if you play your entirety, your 4 years, you're playing every team in your league twice, at least, and some of them 4 times. So with that in mind, some takeaways here, some brief takeaways. The first thing I wanted to know, as will many of you, when the schedule was released is, hey, where's that FSU Clemson game? I have answers. Paper pop. It's in week 4. We don't have to wait till late in the year. It is September 23rd. And this is not an easy September stretch, by the way. For Clemson, it is. Clemson starts at Duke. They got Charleston Southern. They got Florida Atlantic. And then they got FSU. So we really will not have learned a whole, you know what? Never mind. Don't be disrespecting Mike Elko on this program. Clemson has to go to Duke. They don't get to go to Duke. They have to go to Duke in week 1. And then they do play a couple of tomato cans, and then they've got Florida State in week 4 at home. So that's part 1 of what we'll be looking forward to. Colin, do we have FSU's schedule? Since we're speaking about the Seminoles, yeah. They've got it a little bit tougher in the month of September. You remember they played against LSU in New Orleans to start this last year. Well, they've got another neutral site abomination to start this year. Not the game, but the venue. Nothing against Orlando. I would just much rather see this happen in Baton Rouge and Tallahassee. But that's me. I'm not the commissioner of this sport yet. And for that reason, Florida State's going to play LSU in Orlando to start the year. And they also have a trip to Boston College before that game at Clemson. And that game at Clemson is the second leg of a back-to-back road stretch for FSU. So you may think, well, if they get through that unscathed, they could go undefeated. Oh, well, yeah, certainly they could. So I'm not doubting Mike Norvell and company. I'm just saying they also have another back-to-back road stretch later in the year that sees them go to Pittsburgh in November, and that's the week before they play Miami. And they also go to the Swamp at the end of the year to play Florida. So there's that. Also, the toughest stretches in the ACC this year. Speaking of Miami, I don't think Miami has the easiest end to the season either. They have a stretch where they go, I want to say 1, 2. So I may have seen it wrong. So Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that game against Boston College not on the road? 1. Yeah, okay. So if not, then forget what I'm saying about Miami. At the very least, they've got a back-to-back road stretch against NC State and Florida State in November. That alone's tough enough. I thought they may head to Boston College at the end of the year, too. That Boston College game's on a Friday, by the way. So that may have been what I was looking at, Jesse. So that's on short rest. So they've got a sort of backloaded schedule, except they play Clemson in October. So there's that. North Carolina, I don't want to hear any of you people complaining because this is about as well as you can have it set up. First off, you get to play the Camels. Anytime you get Campbell on your schedule, it is celebratory because not everyone gets to play the Camels. Everyone feels like they get to play food. Rice is on everyone's schedule. The Camels of Campbell, not so much. So you got Campbell on there. Anyway, I want you to just listen to this. I don't have to look at my piece of paper. Colin's got it pulled up here. You tell me where the road games are. They play South Carolina, and I think that's in Charlotte, so that's a neutral site game. App State at home. Minnesota at home. They've got Pitt on the road. Then there's a bye week. We got to recover from a trip to Pittsburgh. Syracuse, home. Miami, home. Virginia, home. They go to Georgia Tech. Hoopst is intimidated by that right now. They go to Georgia Tech. Return home against Campbell. Home against Duke. North Carolina does not play their third true road game until November 18th. They end the year at Clemson, at NC State. Congratulations to Mac Brown. I don't know who you have pictures on in the league office, but congratulations there. I think that if you look at the biggest landmine on the entire conference schedule, at least among the contenders, to go back to Clemson's schedule for just a second, there's a game on October 28th where Clemson goes to NC State. And that was the circle game in the conference this past year, and it will be one of the circle games this upcoming year. They go to NC State, and you may be thinking, oh, Devin Leary's moved on. What's the big deal? Brennan Armstrong down there now. Well, I'll tell you what the big deal is. That is the second leg of a back-to-back road stretch. So Clemson goes at Miami, then they go at NC State, and they've got Notre Dame on deck. Guess who North Carolina State plays the week before they play Clemson? Approximately nobody. They're off a bye. Anytime you got the back-to-back road stretch and you're playing a team off a bye, just be heads up about that. These are college football players. It matters. November 4th, that weekend, is the one I have circled. You got Notre Dame, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina State, FSU, Pitt. And the best week, also, you could look at rivalry week. Because, of course, you've got Clemson, South Carolina. Hey, that matters again. You got FSU, Florida. You got NC State, North Carolina. So the ACC schedule, that one's finally out. And somewhere, somebody's saying you can't talk about schedules in January, but it wasn't Meemaw. Meemaw used to always tell me schedules are a year-round thing in college football. You know why? Because college football is a year-round thing. Period. Thank you, Meemaw.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me. That's how we keep this entire thing free.